There it is. There it is. What's going on, work? Good morning. Well, I don't know, man. You guys saw me earlier in the morning, around like 8 o'clock. The whole time I'm thinking, when I leave around 8ish, 8 o'clock, I'm gonna just hoop basketball a little bit, and then if I wasn't doing that, by the time I get home, wash up and go to the library. Come to find out, the library doesn't open until 12 anyway. So I'm like, damn, I'm over here. Oh, I gotta put this in my pocket here. But yeah, I could have did this earlier, low key. I told myself I was gonna get food, but I was like, nah, low key, I need to get some of these goat cheese and chive, egg whites. I think last time I just took them as is, but you know, we stock up on the protein, etc. But it's really interesting, man. I was able to work out this morning. Wasn't too tired from it, you know what I mean? And yeah, now I was like, let me just grab a coffee because I'm early. Come to find out, the library don't open until 12. I'm gonna be there hopefully till 8 ish. You know, do an hour here and there, charge up the devices, go down the street a little bit, walk in my little sections, do my little rounds. So it's good, man. It's a normal school day too. It's a normal school day too, so I don't want to be in the way of any school activities, but I got stuff I want to do. But I'm out here by the cafe where they got the coffee and the egg whites. Damn, we're doing a thing right now. I'm gonna stay put for a little bit. I just need to be outside. Like I say, man, end of summer, start of fall. It's the vibes right now. Ice the Americano type. Go to. It's the go to right there. Yeah, man. Hopefully everyone been good. Hopefully everyone doing all right. I would say. You know, I've been trying to get back on track mentally with everything. You know, combination of paying attention to things here and there. I've been seeing the signs. I've been seeing the signs, man. I've been scoping stuff, watching things play out the way they play out. Try to keep it with my people. I was on the voice chat with a couple of my friends, tapping in life and things like that. You know, certain people get booted if you really ain't part of the circle. I've noticed that too in many servers too. It's like some people just don't belong there. Excuse me. You know, some people don't quite belong, and it is what it is. Just, it was even worse when some people don't feel like they belong. Hopefully, I've never quite incited that feeling on anyone, but it happens sometimes, and I'm trying to be more mindful of it. But a lot of times, you got to keep your peace. You know, some people are a little more uncomfortable with others, and they're just not quite there yet, and I respect it, for what it is. So, but it's gonna be a rough next set of episodes, man. If I'm being honest, because piece of me just been striving off the interactions and whatnot, but the other side of me is like, it's time to pull from the universe a little more. I think I've talked about this before, like no excuses, but a lot of stuff does kind of happen, um, like during this time period right now, where like how do I explain it? A bunch of trolls come in and out, so things get flagged down. Other people get flagged down, reported, whatever. So the activity gets stunted a little bit. Things get put under the microscope. So it's gonna be a whole lot easier and better when when I do like a silk song or something. If I'm doing a silk song, it's a lot better all the time. It's way better. Let me toss this real quick. And I'm gonna get to walking probably. Let's see something, man. Yeah. Some people get a real specific in particular with the orders. Excuse me. I was thinking about this earlier. I think a dude came by. He wanted something specific, but I don't think it worked out. Yeah, man. Let's make it happen. They moving now. I don't know if y'all remember, man, when I was over by the bench, area or whatever, like in that little section, everything wasn't working. Like it wasn't working out because the dude that was over there was doing some park yard work type of stuff. And I got this rain jacket on, but it's kind of warm. Not gonna lie. So we'll see. All them people be in cahoots, man. Let it be known. Let that shit be known. That's what I was saying. Shout out to all the incels that have mastered internet research. You know, this is the beginnings of something, though. It's the beginnings of a lot of things. Like, I'll give you an example. When you watch Cowboy Bebop, you got that character Ed. You're a little androgynous, but nonetheless, they've mastered technology by just simply living underground and messing around with you know, electronics on the planet that we're in. That's all they do. That's all they do. But you got to think that was like post-apocalyptic Earth. There we go. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how smooth the connection is gonna go. What's crazy is like my normal spots and routine areas, they're all compromised now. They're all compromised. So it's like when I get to the 200 point, I'm gonna have to force the pre-recorded content. You know what I mean? How's it going? And I don't know, man. It kind of sucks because for me, it's like I like being, you know, I prefer the live. Like I prefer straight up live joint. I prefer it that way at least. But I don't know, man. People are able to drop in though. People are able to see this, but my connections is compromised. If that's the case, I have to just stick to regular Wi-Fi at the library. I might have to start doing stuff like that. Kind of sucks, man. Really sucks. But no, I was saying, this is what we're gonna have to expect in the future. I would say is like, you know, we got the opportunity to save the planet, man. We really do. It is slowly burning itself out though, because whether it is a creatures of habit thing, we're gonna always lean into, you know what I mean, certain pleasures, if you will. You know what I mean, certain things that are creatures of comfort kind of thing. So we'll be leaning into that a little more. Excuse me. That's the shit I'm talking about, man. Appointment cancellations. That's the second time it happened. That's the second time the appointments got canceled with this particular person. My initial feeling with this person was that they weren't fucking with me for whatever reason, right or wrong. And I'm probably just gonna stop seeing them at this point. I'm like, okay, I get it. But that's kind of a bummer. Energy wise, that's kind of a bummer. I'll take it though. I see, I kind of just see how that's the second time. I literally talked to them. last month, and I was like, last time I seen you was 2 months ago, and then we talked a bit, and then she kind of hit me with this weird. I don't know if she really helped me or not. I couldn't tell if she was really trying to help me or not. She kind of just let me speak, which is fair. I was like, yeah, I can't be fucking with this place no more. That's kind of how I feel about it. So yeah, that's good confirmation for me. That's all I need to know. That's all I needed to know. But yeah, man. I think it's gonna be this warm today. God damn. Maybe I didn't bring too many layers, but just enough. But yeah, man. Summer more or less has ended. Started fall, started the playoffs. Mariners clinched it. Mariners clinched the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm thinking about, man. Mariners clinched the playoffs. I might have to talk about that more in depth later. But more in depth later. But I might just stick to workout live streams from here on out. You know what I mean? If I pull out the phone and hit the live stream, I might sit there and do the workouts. I think a weird thing that happened was I was around, if I remember correctly, 1689, so 1,689 hours. And then this morning, because like I said, it translates the next couple sets of hours or whatever. What's going on, Lil? Appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. I think it calculates the next one. So it went from, I believe, 1689. I was thinking it was going to get to somewhere in the 1690s, and it ended up going to like 1720, which means it boosted like 30, 31 hours, 30 to 31 hours. So I don't know what happened 5 days ago, 4 to 5 days ago, for the calculations for 30 plus watch hours from my channel. I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's working. Like something I'm doing is working right now. But it also makes sense because there was a couple of Final Fantasy videos that I've had that have been getting a lot of views, and I'm like, I don't know who's sitting there checking it out or watching the material, but this is also why I do it, because it's like you have a combination of Final Fantasy, Pokemon, Dragon Quest, and then a little bit of everything else. Live streams, a couple workouts here and there. But you know what I mean? Like things just play itself out on top of, you know, just everything I've been doing in general. So a lot of the vlog stuff is gonna come out slowly. You know what I mean? Very slowly. Like there's stuff that I worked on yesterday, and then I was that yesterday? No, it was Monday, and I was able to upload the other day, real quick. I think it was the same day. It might have been the same day. It might have been the same day on Monday. Could be wrong. I gotta double check. Actually, I might have uploaded it last night when I was watching. I was watching iShowSpeed's live stream while I was charging up at the library, and then I also was able to upload um, the vlog. But again, this is stuff that's planned out all the way until June 2027. These are things coming out a month apart from each other. And I'm like, oh yeah, all this shit's gonna play itself out. You know what I'm saying? All that shit be playing itself out. Like I say, like I go certain spots, I go certain places. You know what I mean? There's a freedom type energy. There's a free type of energy that I know I carry with myself. It's something also that I don't want to say I'm demanding from the universe, but I'm kind of just asking. You know what I mean? Maybe I should ask a little less politely. Maybe I should ask, because I know dude was breaking it down. He was like, yeah, when you ask the universe for stuff, and you're bringing a small spoon for a whole ocean, like you fucked up, but you got to know, you got to have the right materials within, etc. When you really come correct. You know what I'm saying? So I started thinking about that shit. Like it'd be this part, it'd be the other ones, and it'd be inviting certain people there too. There'd be certain people that there's a couple of degenerates here, there, be around. But who am I to judge? Because I'm on that same type of time, and I know I'm on the same frequency with a lot of people. So I meet a lot of people in different spaces, man. And sometimes I try to draw the line and just try to figure out, not draw the line like divide, but like draw the line to connect, and kind of just more like I'm trying to figure out what it is about this person that they seem a little introverted and guarded. Sometimes I understand why they're sitting there or doing their thing. And you got other people just doing their little thing. I'll be over here smoking, so like people be over here doing their thing too. Some people be pouring up, some people do their thing. Again, everyone deposits their energy in places. Pause. But the thing about here in these spaces and places around my neighborhood, it's like, yeah, I know what I be doing and where I'm doing it at. I know the ley lines. I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? Dropping the energy and whatever at makes sense, man. Should be connecting. A lot of times it's just coincidence. Certain time of day, certain time of the year. A lot of times it'd be some, just some very simple, self-explanatory shit. But I don't know, man. Same thing. Like I'd be at the library, the amount of energy I invited up there on top of the hill, right and wrong. Yeah, man, it be up there sometimes. I'm like, okay, I see where I'm at, and I'm only saying this because same thing ended up happening when I used to visit MLK Memorial Park. I used to be over there all the time, just chilling, and then the same thing, the same energy started like finding its way to drift on that side. The funny part about that is there's this in between line between there and Beacon. It's funny because like on top of Beacon, I spent a lot of time up there, and I actually took some notes. I actually took some notes of me recording up there. So when the money starts, you know, evening itself out, I'll be up there and just being able to record more and more, uh, like I used to when I used to do audio. Well, hopefully I get up there, get to do some visual, pre-recorded type of thing. I might work on a few things here and there. Forgot how to hit the mute. You know what I mean? Hit the little mute button and get things situated, man. It's been a real chill. Is that my guy? That's not him. I thought that was the dude that worked up the street. I thought that was him. It ain't it. And I had I don't know if you dropped in earlier on the live stream. If you go to the very beginning, I did grab the little egg whites with the goat cheese and the chive. You know what I'm saying? So energy is gonna be all right today. We're doing all right, more or less. All right, Lilith, let me know if you're there. So I can ask you something. But if you're not, it's cool. But if you're there, I'm gonna ask you something. If you're hanging out, or whoever it is, it might be Mars, it might be anybody. Whoever's over there, two people hanging out. Appreciate you, love you, appreciate you. Exercising gratitude every day. I'm trying to write down shit I'm grateful for every night, but I be missing some nights. And that thing was recommended to me by my actual therapist, like the current one. But like I said, I met with her the first time, maybe not maybe first or second time, a couple months ago, and then she's like she had to take a certain Friday off, so then she was off that Friday, and then what was I gonna say? She was out that Friday, and then I didn't see her again for 2 months, and when I saw her again, you are oh damn hi on Codeine. Codeine started falling asleep listening to you, relaxing. Lilith, I feel like basically what I'm trying to say is there's a current therapist I'm dealing with. I feel like I'm gonna just cancel working with them and not work with them anymore. That's just where my mind is at right now. Cause I got if I don't have it in my contacts, it sends it straight to voicemail. I got the voicemail right now. Translation is like, oh yeah, so and so had to cancel again. I was like, damn, they canceled on me 2 months ago. You know what I mean? So I only go there once a month to check in. Like I said, I went with her the first time, if not the second, and then she canceled one of the things, so I didn't see her again for 2 months. When I saw her, I basically just straight up told her like, yeah, I haven't wasn't able to check in with anyone, or obviously wasn't able to talk to you for 2 months, so I kind of forgot how you looked, and we're just speaking. And the more I speak to her, and the more I talk to her, I realize I feel like she just doesn't fuck with me as a person. I could be wrong. Maybe she just sees me a certain way. So I'll leave it as is. I don't really try to look too much into it. But she canceled on me today. That I would have been meeting her next Friday. She canceled again, and I was like, I don't know, man. Such it don't feel right. Something about that ain't right. And maybe it's that particular day of the week, even though she says she has it available. I don't fucking know. But who knows, man? I guess I was just trying to get your thoughts on that. I might just cancel on her though. She canceled on me, but I might just cancel all further appointments with her. I don't really need that in my life right now. You know, I've been living off of this, not like money wise, but I've been kind of living off of this kind of thing where it's like you know, I don't know whether it's the accountability or just talking to people on the chat or whatever. It's a mix of that. But like I said, I'm gonna chill on the live stream for a second unless I'm working out. But we'll see what ends up happening. Yeah, that's not cool. That long apart. She should be recommending an alternative with that much time in between. The thing is, for me, I was okay. I'm okay with seeing monthly. So the fact that I am seeing, for my current schedule, also my current financial financial situation, I was like monthly is better because I can't do 2 weeks like I used to. But monthly kind of helped me because I was like all that space in between helped me live life and like be more dependable on myself rather than having a place to check in. So that it had a good balance. But it's just the fact that she's canceled twice, but she never messaged me directly through the actual you know what I mean, the actual app and apologized directly to me. She's kind of letting the actual receptionist and the whatever you call those secretaries kind of do their job and like alert me about the shit. You know what I mean? So it's like it's people. Hold on, let me just read it real quick. It's like coming from her office just to say that they're canceling. So it's like it's not her directly saying anything to me. It's not even her saying an apology. So that's kind of where I draw the line. Where I'm like, I mean, I used to get like actual messages from people like, "Hey, I'm sorry about that, but hopefully next time you come in, we'll be able to catch up. Hope you've been okay." Like shit like that. And yeah, right, right. It feels dismissive and rude. My bad. Her not doing that is her not advocating for you the way a therapist should. Yeah, that's and it's weird because it is fucked up because based off affordability, I was always staying within the bracket of like those newer like people who are more like students. So like I always had to go through a different rotate. I always had like old school rotation therapists where it's like, yeah, this is the affordable one, this is the cheapest one, but these guys you'll work with them for about a year or a year and a half until they have to move on to the next part of their semester exams, whatever the fuck. So I don't know, man. I gotta just see. There's a lady that I kind of kept in touch with. I'm gonna see if she's still available, but she's like kind of like one or two bus rides away. So I might end up going to that area and just fucking around over there. But we'll see. We'll see. I ain't really tripping on it. I'm just kind of like I see and I scope the situation. I make my decision. Excuse me. And I don't know. I guess I just wanted to bounce that off of you, like the idea, the thought of it. It didn't seem right. You know. Yeah, I might have to just call them back and be like, yeah, can I cancel all further appointments with her? I'm okay. I don't need. It's like, no. Do you want to talk to her? I was like, I don't want to talk to her. I'm good. That's all I need to know. I'm ready to move on. Yeah, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not. Yeah, I gotta move on with that shit. Find the next one. Find the next situation. Find the next person, if you will. We know. We'll see. The thing was, I remember I gave myself like a month or like a year off from that shit, and then I remember coming back to it a year later, and then the same therapist that I was dealing with was like, "Why are you coming back? What's going on? Talk to me." Talked a little bit, and then I was like in and out because I was letting her know I'm not trying to rely on this shit, but I know I need it, but I'm not trying to rely on this shit. What you want me to do? You know what I mean? Everyone around the way, they're either moving or dying. So what you want me to do? There ain't no steady. Ain't no steady out here. You know what I mean? Ain't no fucking steady. I'm just trying to do my same thing too. Sometimes you need a bump. Damn. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. But yeah, I don't know what that is, man. Uh, but yeah, I'm just reading this. Hold on. Just reading that shit. Just a small bit of help in this. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like I know that I do, but like I say, it's fucked up because with each of them, I always say something funny like, I hate that I'm here. He's like, well, why are you here? And I was like, well, because if I'm not here, I'm gonna need it in the worst way later. So I should be here now. I should be preventative and do it now. However, partly why I'm here is because said friends that more or less would have been helpful in the past, they're just not around no more. Certain people that I don't know, just a lot of people just be dying and shit. People just don't be around no more. Some people just whatever. Some people just dead inside. It's a bit of that too. So it's just like there's not really too many people left that you could just bounce, saying off of bounce ideas and bounce thoughts off of and shit. It's very rare to find them individuals, but when I find a few, it's funny when I find them, it's fucked up. I used to abuse them for a second. I was abusing that shit for a second, but then after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start calling y'all less. I'm gonna just try to be a little more dependable on myself. You know what I mean? I still had the fucking crisis line saved as a contact. I still be having that shit. I used to have that shit saved as a contact. It's like I just needed to speed dial that shit sometimes, and like sometimes they'd be like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Are you thinking about harming yourself?" I was like, "I don't think about harming myself. It's just that at this time of the day, there's no one else to call. Who you want me to talk to? You know what I'm saying? I just kind of need to bounce some ideas off somebody. That's it. Just need to talk a bit. Some people ain't around, so that's what I'm saying. It's really interesting, Lilith, that we're in this time and era where whether it's you or me, like we just be meeting people. You know what I'm saying? We just be meeting people online, like people that you never met in your fucking life, never grew up with, and got no history with. But people would just be real, whatever. Not necessarily deep, but just comfortable with each other, and that's more than anything, man.
It's strange. It's a strange community. It's a strange time, but this is what it's come to. This is what it's been reduced to. You know what I'm saying? My neighborhood has been gentrified, and before that, it was fucked up already. It was at its worst situation, and all the youth that should have been talking to each other, we was down to kill each other. It's fucked up. And now here we are as adults trying to cope and figure that out, but it gets very isolating sometimes, man. So I speak on behalf of motherfuckers that understand that. But I'm not, doing no self pity type shit. Just being honest here, like it's just crazy to think that, like, as patient as I've been with myself, it translated in this era, and it's just weird, man. It's just I'm trying to figure this out, trying to navigate this right here. I do as well. It's one of the emergency numbers on the word. Yeah, it's crazy, right? And it's like there's some that be there, locally, and then there's like local ones, and then there's like just an all around one where they ask you what city and county you're in and shit like that. Oh, sorry, excuse me, they ask you your zip code. But yeah, I've been there before, man. I've been there before, man. Just crazy times, man. Just it's hard to recenter yourself sometimes, man. But yeah, I don't need to deal with her, man. I don't need to deal with her. Like I remember just us having a conversation. Not she's not a bad person. I just think that she don't fuck with me. I think she just like I don't want to like some of those women that like they hear a man speak and they're like I don't want to deal with this man. Oh, it's another man with man problems. I don't want to deal with this man. That's how she comes across to me a little bit. But again, I don't know that. I'm just going off assumptions and based off of how she seems to talk to me and treat me. But it's funny because the last lady was like that. The last lady was kind of like that. But then towards the end, when we had like a little recap of all of the sessions we spent together, she's like, I'll give you props, James, because you helped me see the lens of not only like the person of color, but just men. Like you help me empathize with things a little more. Like I try to treat my sons a little better and differently now after meeting you. So she was very thankful to meet me. But you know, after dealing with that, it's like I don't want to sit here and make all my sessions a convincing game. I'm convincing somebody to care about me. You know what I'm saying? I just want to go there and do the work. But yeah, like you're saying, she doesn't fit what you need. Yeah, it makes sense. I've had to get angry. My bad. I've had to get angry on those because crisis hotlines are not just for people about to end it. Sometimes you get people who think unless you're about to jump, you don't need help. I've been with that too, man. I've had yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right because I had a person that's fucking crazy. I had a person like, so what's going on? What do you need? Oh, I guess you don't need anything. But that's basically how they kind of talked to me. It was like, sounds like you don't need nothing. And I was like, well, how much time do we have left? Because I know it's 30 minutes max. You know what I mean? And she didn't want to, yeah. Or I don't know if it was a she. I think it was, I don't remember. It might have been a she. It might have been another she again, which is funny. That's funny. I get you. Well, how else are you supposed to think if she dismissed you, doesn't communicate and cancels appointments? That's what's crazy, man. That's what's crazy. Like I try to give people the benefit of a doubt, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Thinking about that shit sometimes. It's crazy to think about. It's just crazy to think about. Know how, my bad. Know how you stop a jumper. You help them before they want exactly before they want to jump. That's fucking crazy. But that's my thought process and my mentality for therapy too. Where it's like I don't even think tripping like that. I'm not necessarily borderline. Some days I'm triggered. Like when my mom was still alive, I was triggered. But it's like I'm here to be preventative type shit, man. I don't know. Like I know I got some shit going on. I got some. Everybody got some trauma, but like with mine, it's like I kind of just power through life to the point where I was like, I ain't worried about that shit. We just gonna keep powering through. But at some point, I knew I was like, we might have to check on that shit because I don't know. You probably got some shit you really need to re-examine, inside and really deal with or whatever. However that look, however that might be. Really just sit down with it and examine it. But yeah, so it's a little crazy in that regard. My bad. Let me start walking uphill. I might lose a bit of connection, but I'll still be on live. Let me start moving a bit. This shit crazy. You're right though. Shit crazy, man. It's like the more I think about that shit, I need to call that. I might call it right now. If I could just piss first. But yeah, I appreciate you talking to me, Lilith. Thank you for that. But I'm gonna hop off. Not now. But I'm gonna just walk a little bit. Get these little minutes in, these hours in for this morning. You know, it's a tricky time of the day because before 12, there isn't too much love before 12. You know, gotta advocate for yourself. Yeah, that's fair. And also, like again, on some student shit, that's even if she means well, that's just a learning lesson for her. Like, don't be treating people like this, especially not me. I want to get it right here. I want to do it right here. Hold on, man. Let me chug this and then I'm gonna do it. Yeah, advocating for yourself. That's the best way to put it. That is the best way to put it. I saw her live this morning. You were in the ER waiting room. What's going on? You doing all right? Talk to me. Is it you? Is it the kids? God bless. What's going on? God bless you, Lilith. What's going on? Hold on. I'm about to hit the thing here real quick. Not bad. You said you fell yesterday? I can't see shit. I got hella light. Give me a second. I had to go on the side of the park, hit the bushes, the whoop de doo. I scrub my floors with Dawn and water like once a month. Got you. It's it's in a spray bottle. I went to stand and the bottle busted. I went everywhere. I did the splits, then tried to stand again, and boom, fell. Ooh, I'm assuming you don't normally do the splits. Yeah, I'm assuming you don't normally do the splits. Fell hard. Dogs were trying to get to me. I was trying to drag the towels around. Oh my god, that's terrible. It's funny to look back at, but damn, that hurt. I broke my. Oh, you broke your tailbone? I was gonna say something funny, but never mind. I'll leave it away. I won't say it. But well, then again, you do have a sense of humor. I was gonna say like, yeah, I can imagine you don't normally do splits unless it's some freaky shit, but that's fucking crazy. Remember when I told you about my friend Lily, that goes by Lilith also. They broke their tailbone. Also, that might be a Lilith thing. The tailbone. I don't know what it is. Literally, they did that too. Like dealing with their son or something like that, and then they crashed on a staircase going downwards, fell on their ass. They didn't really think too much of it. They're just like, I'm just hurt. But then the tailbone had them because they hurt their tailbone so much or so bad. I don't know how to explain it. It was something in the coccyx or some shit. I forget the name of the exact bone that got hurt, but it damaged her spine internally for a couple months because she didn't treat it. She just thought she was hurt for a while. I was like, oh, I just need to lay down for a couple of days. She ended up in the ER because one of her sides of her body was kind of paralyzed for a while. So just be careful with that shit. Just be careful, please. Because when she told me that, she's messaging me. She's like, I could barely feel one side of my body. I'm starting to slowly get feeling back. And we were just talking a little bit. She was texting with her right hand or something. Exactly that leg support when there's a second person. There was none. Right. Yeah, you need somebody holding on to that calf or that ankle, right? Hold the hip down. That's funny as hell. Unless you count the floor. This is my second time breaking the damn thing. It may very well be a Lilith thing. I don't know. It's something weird about it. I don't know how to explain it, but she went through that same shit. Like when you said that, I was like, it's always some tailbone area kind of thing. She okay? She's doing all right now. Like I was able to, like I said, when I visited her, um, last last year, yeah, we're hanging out. She's walking around normally, but there was a couple months before that where she just was like damn near paralyzed for a while. like just kind of stuck in bed, and she slowly had to get her shit back. That's another person that has to deal with like multiple medications, and I just don't understand. Like I don't, I'm not saying I don't understand. I wouldn't want to deal with that ever in my life. I gotta try to stay healthy as much as possible. It's not easy, but I try to find time because when I hear shit like that, I get scared. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't risk nothing, man. I used to be the kid that had a lot of cast. If I didn't have like a cast arm, sling, I was in crutches. I always had a, what do you call this? Like a cast on my foot, shit like that. Sprained, if not a fractured ankle, if not a broken bone in the hand. Like it's always something like that. You're talking about because I just have you whatever. Yeah, even though I was doing like a hydrocodone, it's like the need for it. Like even though it's not as bad as oxycodone, it's like that shit. It just feels off. It doesn't feel right. If it wasn't for the pain, I would opt out of the codeine. Yeah, damn. Oh, these people got the nice hoop. Damn, they got the little thing that bounces it back. I need some shit like that. It is what it is. But yeah, that's fucking crazy. Now I'm about to walk slowly. I think when I walk through this area, because the connection's so bad. Actually, hold on. Let's see. Actually, let's walk over here and let's see for ourselves. Well, I'm gonna walk in that direction and section, and then when I walk slowly to the library, I'm gonna hop on the Silk Song in a second. We're gonna really get back to work today. Really get busy. Get back on the sticks and get to it. Pause on that. But yeah, that's all I was saying. Even when I took hydrocodone, I was a little foggy. Not like I couldn't see shit, but more so like I was over here just my inner thoughts coming out, like talking about how I'm a high schooler, talking about how we shouldn't trust the government too much. You know what I mean? Like just little shit like that. People are like, "What are you talking about? What are you on?" And it's supposed to take like what 4 a day. I was doing a little extra. Let me flip the camera because it's too bright. And then like just that little bit affected me. And I'm only saying that because like I was a kid that never took any kind of drugs. Like most of my friends were already used to it. They were used to some form of like weed or mushroom or kids they're always experimenting, so they were used to some level of high. So I'm over here like never doing anything, and I tried this shit. I was just an athlete kid, so I see how this affects you. This is some lightweight shit, but I get it. Oh man, I saw this video that made me think of you. This guy got a little figure of Hornet after my bad, after he beat Silk Song. Man, if he beat Silk Song, either he is really good at the game or he just plays a lot. He has to be really good at the game because I swear I'm not like I don't know where I'm at. I don't know if I'm at like I'm at Act Two. But I don't know how far I am. You know what I mean? There we go. But yeah, I don't know how far I am in Silk Song, so we're gonna find out in a few how far I truly am. We shall see. You know, I don't know, man. That game is rough. A Hornet figure, I would get one because this is a game that I've been hooked on for the past couple of weeks now, past couple of days, I guess you'd say. So I would say that is something I would invest in. You know what I mean? What's going on? Good morning. Hi. How you doing? So I'm a little happy for that. It's a nice flower. Oh, what the? Hold on, let me show you this. This looks nice. Love is the answer. There it is, bro. I don't even gotta say it. Love is the answer. I've been saying this my whole life. No, I've been saying it more recently. There it is. There it is. This or something better. I don't even see. I always walk on the other side of the street, so I don't be seeing this shit. That's cool. That's cool. Rocks with affirmations. Rocks with affirmations, man. What else you want? Oh, no, that was kind of cool. That was sweet. It looked like a either like one of those stone kind of ladies or hippie kind of ladies did that, or like a little kid. It might have been a little kid, but yeah, who knows? But that's how I be feeling, man. It's about light and love and shit, you know. That's what I'm trying to get to that, man. You need to stay away from places that got me on point, making me mad and, out of character. I'm trying to be a natural human being. We're trying to heal and be right. Fuck that shit. Um, I'm trying to cross the street. My bad. I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna catch up. You guys trying to run me over? Ooh, they're trying to run me over. All right. First time I took a major painkiller, excuse me, was the jaw break. I got addicted to the pain. My bad. To the pain from the morphine. Quick. I limit myself on those now. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Morphine. That's what I've heard about from certain people, especially like post surgery and shit. I be hearing about that. People tell me stories like, I ain't gonna lie, man, that morphine had me hooked. I was like, what do you mean you was hooked? I said, no, it's exactly what it sounds like. Like that's the beginning of addictions, damn near. Somebody was blaming hospitals for that shit. They're like, sometimes hospitals they're trying to help, but they end up beginning people's addictions, which is kind of crazy to think about. My bad, it's hella bright. Reward yourself for the win, man. I don't know. Like this game is also so like such a headache, and it pisses me off so much sometimes. Where like there's a piece of me that can't wait to get it over with, but there'd be moments where I'm playing it and I'm having a lot of fun. Where I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. That these are your controls at the moment, and the farther you go in the game, you unlock new abilities. Kind of like when you play Metroid. When you play Metroid, Samus starts to unlock more things that help her throughout the levels. That's why those side scrollers are called Metroidvania. It's not really like Mega Man. Mega Man's a more of a shoot 'em up side scroller, but Metroidvania esque stuff like Silk Song and Hollow Knight, it's more along those lines. But yeah, you like those rocks earlier? It's kind of cool. Sometimes I want to get, and there's nothing wrong with physical reminders, but there's not, nothing wrong with physical reminders. But I will say, like, how do I explain this? On one hand, I want to get so good that I'm able to just remind myself some days, man. You know, it's because but it's also like, I think I've been, goddamn, I'm over here stuttering. I think I've been good at like getting better at that because sometimes, whether it's you or the next person that hop up in the live chat, my inner dialogue, my inner monologue has been very positive, just as of late. There's probably a couple of kinks here and there. Got to work on, everybody is all a work. Everybody's a work in progress, right? So, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm very satisfied with the person I am and happy with the person that I've become as of late compared to who I was growing up. So that's a plus, I've been thinking about that shit. My bad if I had the camera flip. It's just so much sunlight behind me because I'm walking north. Sun is to the south. But yeah, I was saying this in the early lives, like months ago. I was like, I don't care how corny I sound, bro. I'm really talking that positive shit, that affirmation shit, because the shit I come from, it wasn't that great necessarily. So I'm just trying to, I don't want to say do the opposite, but more or less cover the ground of what, sometimes some people have self pity for themselves. How's it going? Some people have a bit of self pity for themselves and um, their how they came up a little bit, which is fair. But there's a point where you got to kind of dead all that. You got to, hey man, that shit ain't happening no more. And the person that, the kid or the human being that you wanted to be that was nurtured when you see it in others, yeah, you got to stop hating on that when you see it in others. And you got to start doing it for yourself now. And it ain't easy because it's like a lonely kind of road, but you end up finding people on the same path, trying their best. I don't know if you see that silhouette of a squirrel running on the wire. That's kind of crazy. You're fine. It's a pretty area. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But hopefully you know what I mean, man. Like sometimes some people check in and out. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. That's some motivational shit. And I was like, nah, man, that's really just me talking to me. You just happen to see it on camera. I'm not being selfish or nothing. People who make others feel bad for that kind of stuff have some self hate going on. Yeah, I've been meeting a couple people like that, man. I meet a couple of people like that. I was talking to a friend the other day who kind of felt that way, and I was like, "How's it going? Good morning." And it was like I was talking to someone about that the other day. and he's a friend of mine. And I was thinking like, yeah, I don't need to be talking to him too much, man. And it's kind of cool because he actually let it be known that he didn't want to talk to anyone because he was going through some shit lately. Because I've been going through some shit lately, so I just didn't want to call nobody and bring up my bullshit. And I was like, that's fair. And then when I hung out with him, he was talking that bullshit. So that's when I realized, oh, he's right. At least he recognized his shit. Because some people don't realize. But I don't know. What you're saying makes sense. It's just really cool, like how that shit plays out sometimes. But I say all that to say too. It's like, man, the more I think about this shit, it's like it's all really not this complicated. Like the more I simplify shit, I don't have to worry about all this other stuff no more. And I feel the same way with like whether it's political stuff or environmental shit. I'm like, I mean, where do I draw the line? Can I draw the line anywhere? All right, then I guess either I care or I don't, and it's that simple. And that's not to be ignorant or nonchalant to fucked up shit. It's just to be honest, because like taking care of myself and the world around me, my surroundings, personal surroundings, that shit is way more important sometimes than things that are far away. But I'm still on some free Palestine shit. I actually know like two people. I know like three people from Palestine, so it's like, yeah, I'm on some free Palestine shit. That's fucked up. What's going on there? And look, because I actually know people. I've actually met people from there. That was self-aware of him. That was very self-aware of him. Man, he didn't even catch the crazy shit that he was saying later in the day. But the fact that he just didn't talk to me for like a couple weeks and months, a couple weeks to like a month, and then he just straight up said that. I was like, man, it's cool, man. He's been there for me as a friend. He's been there for me when I was going through breakups and fucked up times. So I was like, I'm always gonna hold the space for you, man. It's crazy. It's I'm always gonna hold the space for him just because he's been there for me during fucked up times, and he was aware enough to just be aware of that shit, but he wasn't aware of the crazy shit he said when we actually conversated, and that's when I realized, oh, he's still kind of in a dark space mentally because I think he was attending one of his friends' funerals that either he used to work with or something like that, or he went to school with. So there was that going on, and then he was there with spending time with another friend when that in with that friend in the hospital when their mom was passing away. So it was a whole lot of he's been doing he's kind of been doing what I've been doing, where he's just kind of there and present for a lot of people in his life, and he's just taking more time there. And I was like, damn, I get it, I get it. I've been there. We've both been there. He's older than me, so I would say he's done it a lot more. But he's just currently going through something. He's going through some personal grief of his own mom mixed with being there for others. And I've been there where I'm like, yeah, I'm grieving, but I'm being there for people, and it is not easy, bro. It is not easy, but somehow I'm still here, man. Somehow I'm still kicking it. And like I said, I dealt with a certain breakup that pushed my buttons to the point where I really just like, oh yeah, thank you for recentering me. Thank you for reminding me that even during my times of grief, a bitch can still be a bitch. So I was just like, okay, let's lock the fuck in. Like that's life does not stop. Like some people who troll will still troll. They don't care about if you're down and you're grieving. They do not care. People who want to make it all about themselves don't care about your grief. They will still make it all about themselves and attack you. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're still attacking while I'm over here grieving. Okay, I see how it is, and that really woke me the fuck up. It turned me into an animal for the past year. It turned me into an animal. That's why you see my channel at 2.5K videos, and it's not gonna stop till we hit three. And after that, we're not gonna stop till we hit 3 point whatever. If you starve yourself, you can't help anyone. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Yeah, if you starve yourself, you can't help anyone. I used to say this shit in some earlier lives. It was kind of something along the lines of like, the best version of yourself can help everyone else. So I would tell people, I was like, if you're not there yet, it's cool that you admit it because what they say, admitting is the first step. So you admit it, and then from there, you kind of just you work on yourself. You do your little thing here and there, and I don't know. That's why I like doing truancy hours, um, and just these live streams as much as possible because it's like I used to do the same thing audio form wise, but saying it out loud and having the chat, if anyone drops in and out, it holds me accountable when people just sit there and have their opinion and they sometimes, whether someone checks me or they even give me a perspective on something. Like if I'm speaking ill about something out loud, someone will sit there and maybe check me. Like shout out to the people that hate when I smoke. People are like, that's just not good for you. Like shout out to them because I always have a conversation with them like I'm pretty the way you smoke a cigar is like wine tasting. You're not getting drunk when you wine taste. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of you get the taste and the flavor of it, and then you spit it out. You don't necessarily consume it. That's how I am with a cigar. It forces me for an hour or two to sit down which is probably what I need. Some days I need to just sit the fuck down and really not think about content and creation and stuff. Sometimes I really need to relax. If I'm not doing that, I'm working, right? So it helps me do that. And I'm able to do two birds in one stone. Like I'm actually able to sit down, relax, and then actually sit there and live stream. So it does two birds in one stone. But I was trying to tell people and reason with them like I'm not saying that there isn't any effects from it, but yeah, sometimes it's not as bad as like cigarettes, cigarettes. Cigarettes you actually have to inhale it. And some people get so addicted they go through packs, and that shit is crazy. I know some people that are addicted to packs right now, which is wild. God bless them. I hope they get through that, man. But yeah, cigars you don't necessarily smoke. That makes sense. It's hard to explain to people. Hope he pulls out of it. That seems like a dark place to be. The thing is, like, when you're doing all that, it's like the way you compensate for the what you feel inside is you do for others what you want to be done for you. And that's what I'm saying. I guess I've been there because my mom died before his mom died, so I remember just being there for everyone and constantly being available and you know what I mean. Because a lot of times it was like I was you know, I was so available for my mom all the time that the fact that she was gone, that availability opened up for everyone. So I found myself available to just multiple communities of people, and a lot of them really didn't deserve it. Like 80% of these people probably didn't deserve it. 85, 80, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't deserve my time and energy. And the thing is, you just make yourself available, but it's also fucked up because there's always going to be that one or two people that make you snap and snap you back to reality sometimes where it's like, you know what, man, you got me fucked up. Like, I really don't need this shit. And I hope he doesn't go through that. That's why I talked to him. I was like, I had that moment with my own someone I was in love with. Like, we loved each other. We tried our best to just be there for each other. And she just fucking pushed my buttons and wasn't being accountable to the point where I was like, fuck this bitch. And it woke up the worst in me during a time where I should just be, I should be taken care of and loved while I'm grieving. And can you imagine that, Lilith? Imagine like your mom dies and then like all your family stops coming by the house. And it's just like I'm okay with that because that means that they were there in the first place for my grandpa and they were there in the first place for my mom. But we're just left to grieve alone. Like no one really fucking checks on us. This is how I mean, yeah, nobody checks on us. And like for that whole year after my mom had passed, I was like, fuck these people, man. Fuck all these bitches, man. I'm about to just take my brother and my dad, who are the remaining people, and I'm gonna just take them out to ball games, man. We're going that like every 2 weeks to a month. People are like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" Like they're thinking like we're doing cool shit. I was like, "You don't even understand. Like I'm killing three birds with one stone here. We're doing cool shit. We're doing family time, and this is how we get over the grief." Because I just seen them in the house, just in the living room, just soaking, just sitting there watching TV, thinking about watching TV by themselves, or like normally my mom would just be sitting in the fucking like by the kitchen in her little chair, sitting in her little throne watching TV all the fucking time. She's not there anymore to watch it with them. I was like, yeah, fuck that. We're not gonna sit in front of the TV and think about that shit. We're gonna get out the house and experience the games that we never been to. We're gonna do that shit. We're gonna eat food. It's been a while since we ate together as a family, and then just do our little thing. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't saying that shit out loud because we're dudes, so it's like how it is with dudes. Hey man, I love you, bro. Let's do this. Like nobody's gonna talk that shit out. We just do it. We ain't gonna sit there and talk out the feelings. Fuck all that. And not that that's good or bad, but we're just gonna, that's how we look out for each other, man. We just do for each other. I ain't got time to be telling you I love you. Like, I'm gonna just do this shit for you, man. This is the action. We're gonna give you the action, man. Don't hit me with that funny shit, that emotional shit. We're a household full of tough guys. That's kind of fucked up, but it is what it is. That's just what it was. Um, the house. Oh yeah, so glad you quit smoking. Getting close. What you stopped smoking like close to a year ago? Congrats on that. I hope you get to the year because I stopped smoking. Oh, sorry, I stopped drinking. Excuse me, I stopped drinking. Ah, shit, was that about 2 years ago? Like two years ago and some change. So I stopped drinking 2 years ago. I'm trying to go for 10. So when I turn 40, I'm able to drink again. But who knows? By then, I might not even drink. So I might wait for a certain occasion to just hit the smoked old fashioned, get a cigar, and then just look at all my family, be like, "Yep, there it is, guys. I'm ready to die now. Got my last drink. Here we go. Let's put one of those." Um, and when you do reach out, you get treated like garbage or made to feel like you don't have the right, and you should shut up and handle it all on your own. Yeah, it's like that. And it's just like it is what it is, man. I get it now. Like I just kind of get it, you know. Because the thing is, like, if you're a loving person, people love being around you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a reciprocating type of individual. They're just someone who likes to receive, which is fair. You know what I mean? Because if you're a giver, some people just receive. It's just how it is, and it's a hard pill to swallow in times of need. So that's why I don't really necessarily like. I'm not trying to be like. I don't want to dwell on hate. That's why I'm not bashful or I don't dwell on it. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't try to dwell on it because it's like I just understand now that like in particular situations I give, and in other particular situations like that particular interaction they receive from me. So if I'm not in the mood or energy of giving and they can't receive, it makes sense that it has ended. You know what I'm saying? So the relationship has ended, and then vice versa. There's some people who love to give to me, but then there's a point where I'm like, I just don't want to. There's a point where I don't want to receive from them anymore. Like some people who want to give me rides places, like it's like, y'all don't. I don't want to rely on anyone for rides. I'd rather be alone and kind of meditate on my own and listen to podcasts and shit like that. It's like they don't see you as human all the time. It makes you feel erased. Yeah, I mean, I kind of I just accept people for who they are, even if that's who and where they are right now, if that makes sense. So I think if it feels like last year and we had this conversation, I would completely agree with you. The other part of me is like, I do completely agree with you, but I also think like some people just are who they are. If they're fucked up people, they're fucked up people. If they're narcissists, they're narcissists, and that's just who they are. But it has nothing to do with me, and it shouldn't affect me. And that's kind of where I am right now, where I'm like, I don't let other people's faults that they can work on affect me anymore. I just work on myself. I'm like, they can work on it, but I can dwell on the fact that they can work on it, or I can just work on myself. I have Spotify. Yeah, I use Spotify usually for music and podcasts. That's what I usually use. Are you gonna send me something or I gotta check something? Oh yeah, I think in a couple of minutes I'm gonna hop off. I gotta remember to cancel the appointments with that therapist because like that again. Even in that regard, it's like if she's a dismissive person, if she feels like she doesn't need to deal with men or she doesn't have empathy for men as a therapist or whatever. This is my theory. I can't prove it. If that's how she feels and she feels like she doesn't owe me an explanation or like a whatever, then yeah, fuck it. I don't, you're going to send oh you're going to send a song. Made me think of it with this. Okay, cool. Hit me on the Discord for sure. I'll check it out. Um but yeah, I need to cancel with her. I need to cancel with that whole place because I don't think I need to be over there anymore. I don't know. It's something about when I'm over there. I like going over there because when I'm away from Seattle, literally it's over the water on the east side. But when I'm over in that area, it's such a nice part of the county that like I don't really have to look over my shoulder or worry about getting into fights with anyone or whatever. Not that I fight a lot, but I don't fight at all, but just worrying about shit. I don't have to worry about shit when I'm over there, man. Um and it's kind of crazy. It's like when I'm over there, I don't have to worry about, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But anyway, that's why I like going on my bad. Let me read this. I'm going to be honest. I've had nothing but bad experiences with female therapists besides one. Um, Let me think about this. All right, I'm gonna tell you this since you're here, Lilith. I could, if I, oh my bad, I would if I were you. Therapy, you are very vulnerable. You need to feel secure where you go and who you. That's the thing too. That's what's crazy, man. That's what's crazy because it's like I'm sharp enough to know that, but then there's that other. Maybe it's because I'm a dude. There's a piece of me that's like, let's see if we can figure this out. Let's see if I can make it to my let's see if I can get what I can get out of it. You know what I mean? So like, there's a piece of me that because I'm a dude, I never really feel vulnerable. But then I try to act. I have to force and access that vulnerable kind of feeling or situation, if that makes sense, to really delve deeper into therapy. So it's always hard for me to really like crack my own shell in that place because they're basically facilitating the space and conversation for you to do it for yourself. They're really like facilitating the space and space for you, place and space for you to just crack yourself open and then rebuild yourself. You know what I mean? Because you can crack yourself open in front of people in public, and then people will just see the opening and then want to attack the flesh right away type shit. They want to, you know what I mean? They're, oh shit, he opened himself up. It's the best time to attack. And I used to do that shit in regular like public and like school days and like just normal on the neighborhood days. I would do it just to see who would try to swing and attack at that, and I would just retaliate, the worst type. Get on these motherfuckers' life. I was like, yeah, just because I open myself up don't mean I'm a bitch, bro. You gonna find out the worst way. Like I've been scoping you two paws of like knowing what people's bullshit is on, and I really just start retaliating hard on people. You know, what I'm saying verbally, mentally, all that. But I was like, it was like, yeah, let me know. And then they're like, they get mad at the talking. I was like, I'm talking because you do a lot of talking. But let me know if it's down to some physical shit. Nobody wanted with me on some physical shit. Pause. So it's like that's me, man. But again, I don't need to force myself around those situations anymore. So that's what made me start going to therapy. It was like, oh yeah, because the thing is, you'll open yourself up with people just to even just to be honest. But then you'll also try to figure out who is waiting for that moment to attack when you open yourself up, just so you can find out who your enemies are. And then I realized like you don't even need to be in that situation. There's no reason for you to be outside looking for enemies. There's no reason for you to be outside testing people. If anything, you need to be outside testing yourself. You know what I mean? So that's when I really started to recenter shit. Where I was like, okay, I get it now. I get it now. I'm over here tripping. I'm making, saying the worst out of every situation because like I was just a damaged person trying to damage other people and willing to put myself on the line for it. Which is not good. You should just be doing the work. But yeah, you're right. Anyway, back to the vulnerable spaces and places. Oh, my bad. Since you were here, man, I had like, I think my first therapist, my coach was like, you should work with so and so because you can go there for free. We'll hook it up. She just needs to get her hours in with therapy, and you guys will send you guys. It was like some of the people who worked at the gym or trained at the gym. It's like we'll send you to work with her, and she'll get her hours in, and you guys get free therapy. I was like, cool, let me try it out. So I went there. I was probably like 19, 18, 19 or something like that. I went there. She's like an older lady, and she doesn't look that good. But after a while, I realized she would talk to me so much about how her husband doesn't care about the things she does in life, and how like me and her would just literally have conversations, and she would talk a lot about, yeah, my husband, he doesn't give me a lot of attention, and when I do sports stuff, he doesn't really show up to my events. He's kind of just working all the time. I was like, damn, I could probably fuck this bitch right here, unfortunately. But it never happened, and that's when I realized she was probably one of the first people that made me realize, like, sometimes with some female therapists, when I deal with them, there is a moment or like a level of like they are opening themselves up to me a bit. Because I had one that I met with, she was like a sexual therapist. She got very comfortable with me, but again, it was a space where it was like no TMI. There's no too much information. So then I was like, I'm gonna respect it as such, but I think that she's very open with me about this shit to try to teach and talk to me about certain stuff. So I didn't necessarily feel that there, but because the topics were in that realm, that was where the tension was at. Anyway, fast forward, um, when I started going to this new spot, one of the first ladies I was working with, I think it was the first lady, I could be wrong. I'm trying to remember who I worked with at first. It was someone else I feel like I worked with at first. I could be wrong. No, I think it was the first lady. We're talking and stuff. And I'm talking about how much my ex pissed me off or my girlfriend pissed me off or whatever at the time. I was like, yeah, it's just be some bullshit. But it's like, I feel like we stick around and we fuck with each other just for the love and da da da. We're just talking. He's like, well, why do you stick around with her? Like, what is it that makes you stick around? I was like, it's just sex or something. I don't know. We fuck each other really well. And she's like, well, how do you guys fuck? So I started explaining to her in detail. And then, because I looked at her, I was like, wait, there's no TMI, right? So yeah, there's no TMI here. Like, this is what we're supposed to work on. So, all right, cool. I started explaining to her in detail, like how we would do our thing. And at some point, I think when I finished the conversation, she did this little shiver, and then she kind of squeezed her legs back up or something like that. And she's like, okay, I'm able to stay focused at this. And then we kind of continued to have the conversation. And I was looking at her like, what the fuck was that? Like, what's going on here? So I will say, as a dude, when I have female therapists, sometimes I can't pretend that there isn't a weird sexual tension there. You know what I mean? But then it does throw me off when like the actual therapist hits me with some weird shit. Like they hit me with some weird like, yo, he can get it right now type shit. And I'm not the last one, but I don't know how many therapists ago this was, but me and her were able to stay. She was third. I know, man, and that let me know like she hadn't had none for a while. But it's funny because a handful of my therapists were sitting there telling me, um, you're making me realize some shit I probably shouldn't be talking about. But like they'll say some shit like, yeah, and if you see me like if you ever run into me, don't be a stranger, say hi. You know what I mean? And I heard that from male therapists as well. Because there was one dude who I think he lived actually in the neighborhood nearby, or he was dating a girl kind of in my neck of the woods. Because he would kind of walk past my block, and I realized he would kind of look around to see if I was in the area. Because I think we'd pass each other up a couple of times. But he was like, man, if you see me, don't be a stranger, man. Just say hi, man. Like I know we're finished our sessions, and I'm gonna keep continuing school, but I want you to know, like I still will say hi to you. And with that with that particular girl, man, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Mars? With that particular girl, when she said that to me, I feel like it meant something different, but I could be wrong. I don't want to insinuate shit, but I was like, you know what? That might mean some other shit. So that had me kind of tripping. Welcome back, Mars. Mars, let me know if you got a second. I'm going to tell you what's going on with this therapy shit before I cancel. Uh, Mars, Lilith says, "Hey, Mars." But let me know if you're still there, Mars. I'm gonna tell you some shit. Alex John, what's going on, bro? Damn, everybody dropped in when I finished my hour. I might see this. This lets me know I gotta keep going for like 80, doing my 70, 80 minutes type of joint. Hold on, man. Give me a second. I got hella notifications. Jesus, hella notifications. I still got the little voicemail up, so I gotta call that number back. That girl who claims her counselor loves her is delusional. Wait, who is that? Wait, what? I don't know what part of the thing you walk in on. The girl who claims her counselor. I don't know. Well, yeah, Mars. So basically, what I'm saying is like, they gave me um a newer therapist a couple months ago, and we had like one, maybe two sessions. I think I want to say it was one. She lives all over TikTok. Oh, I don't. I'm not on TikTok. This is why I'm not on TikTok because of shit like that. Anyway, I got this newer therapist a couple months ago. We did about one, maybe two sessions, but I think we just did one, and then we're supposed to do like the second one. And it's the way I space it out financially was like I was able to do every month. So I was like, I can only do once a month right now until I get steady pay. So it's really interesting because as it started to play out, by the second time I was supposed to show up, randomly she like kind of cancels it like a week before the actual appointment. I was like, okay, shit comes up, I get it. So then when I saw her again, because I didn't see her for 2 months, I was like, damn, I haven't talked to anyone or seen you for 2 months. So I almost forgot what you look like. And we're talking and shit. Oh, I might have to leave. All these kids are running to the park. Goddamn, I gotta leave. Fuck that. Anyway, let me go around. The I tell her, no, no, sorry, we're talking about something, and she seems to be dismissive. Like she's saying certain things where she's kind of comparing, like, yeah, I think most men do. Like she was explaining something about I don't know how she explained it. It was she had asked me a question about women or something like that. She's like, do you see all your women friends as sexual objects? Do you da 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 da? And I was like, it depends on the situation. Either if they don't look good to me, or if they're just like a stud, or if they're LGBTQ or something like that, and if they just don't swing a certain way, then obviously I'm not really looking for them like that. Does that make sense? So like, we kind of had these conversations, but she constantly kept insinuating. She was trying to. It's like she was trying to figure me out, which isn't wrong for a therapist, but she's trying to insinuate like, oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, most men are like this. Most men are like that. Like she would constantly say like that or along those lines. Now, where I started on the line, whereas I realized today, upon them, no, I was gonna say, what I realized today, she canceled again like a week right before the appointment. So it's like she'd be spacing me out like every 2 months basically on purpose. So I'm over here talking to Lilith about it, and I was like, you know what, man, maybe my intuition is wrong, but it's like it just seemed like she's kind of being dismissive about the shit. And then even worse, it's like, I've never got like an actual straight up message, like a personal message from her, like apologizing, like, hey, sorry that this is happening. Sorry this came up. Forgive me. Let me know if you could figure this. Like it was never no personal conversation. So anyway, Lilith goes generalization, excuse me, in a space like that are harmful as fuck. That's fair. Mars says she sounds like a bad fit, to be honest. That's literally what Lilith said in the morning. And I was like, I'm gonna take y'all's word for it, man. Because it should be fucking me up. Little shit like that. Little shit like that, where it's just like I don't really think too much about it because I'm constantly giving people the benefit of a doubt, but I'm also giving people the chance to learn me. But it's like I also don't want to enter spaces. I don't want to enter spaces and have to like demand respect or like whatever. I don't want to have to go to spaces and convince people to care or like me. Like I don't want to have to do that ever. If that makes sense. And the fact that I might have to do that with this person kind of sucks. You know what I mean? I understand the shit that I might bring up childhood wise or whatever can be intense for some, but it's also like I guess that's also your job. You know what I mean? Not to be an asshole, but I don't know, man. I gotta start dealing with people who basically are no longer students. You know what I mean? No longer students, and excuse me, and basically I'm over here dying right now, talking too much. and just find people who are more consistent. Be nice to the kids, guys. Yeah, I feel that way, fish. They're just joking though. Excuse me. But yeah, I need to go up in here. I did the nasty hack, cough, ugh, grab some water, and then chill out. Sometimes therapists start being so because they themselves need help. That's fair. That's a fair point. Makes a lot of sense to me. Hydrate or dehydrate. Yeah, I need to hydrate. All right, guys. You're going to see me go live in like 10-15 after I sit down and set up. I'm about to play some Silk Song in a second. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.